I'm registered dietitian Abby Sharp, and on my new podcast, Bite Back with Abby Sharp, I'll be dismantling the multi-billion-dollar diet industry that keeps us in a cycle of self-loathing and food fear. Join me every Tuesday for expert interviews, engaging conversations, and my signature science and sass to bust myths, correct misinformation, and help you break free from diet culture for good. Listen for free on the Seeker app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Nice. Brand new 3 days grace. Mayday on Winnipeg's rock station, 92.1 City. Philly Joe and Kirby. Joe returns tomorrow. Loving that song. I will say I enjoy the TV program Mayday, but I do believe that's because I don't fly a lot. If you fly a lot, I don't recommend Mayday being a regular on your watching list.
I mean, I do remember vividly one time watching that Denzel Washington movie where he's a pilot. What is it called? Flight or something like that?
I know what you're talking about.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I watched that like a week before flying once, and I was like, why did I do that to myself?
Well, that's got nothing on Mayday. Mayday's like reenacting actual. Although, is the Denzel, that's about a true story, right?
Yeah, where he
Okay.
like landed a plane in the water.
But Mayday is very scary, like as far as, because it's true stories, totally reenacted. And like I sit there and watch that show and I just say, thank God, because I mean, flying is very safe. Let's make that clear.
Oh my God, yes.
But still, I don't love flying like you do. I do it because anytime that I have to, I'm okay to do it. I don't, I'm not like, I don't fly, oh my God. But I don't necessarily enjoy it. I'm not a super comfortable flyer.
Joe's the same way. He said on the show before that, like, as often as he goes to Vegas and stuff like that, he doesn't like flying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, me neither.
And I don't know why, but like I was that when I was younger. Like I remember one time I held up a flight to Disneyland because I was having a panic attack when I was young.
Oh, they just boot you off now.
And yeah, and basically now I'm just like, I just get on the plane and I don't even think twice.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I do too, but I just don't love it. Like, I'm not sitting there going, oh, this is fun. No, I'm like, I really don't enjoy the landing. Anyway, so the show Mayday hasn't helped in my enjoyment of flying, but that is a good song. To make a long story short, new 3 days grace. We are getting lots of road reports on the Boston Pizza text line. Thank you very much. We can always count on our listeners for these. This is Hot Dog Guy, freezing rain coming from Steinbach. That is not cool.
Yeah.
This one here, traffic update. Drove from St. Vital to downtown. Roads are okay, just moist.
Ew.
And he says, my day is complete, this person, because they got to say moist to Kirby.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at Manitoba 511 right now, and it looks like the perimeter could be a little interesting this morning. Some areas are bare, some are partially covered. We're going to get a little bit more like flurry action this morning, it sounds like. And it might be foggy.
Okay, and if we get if there's like Hot Dog Guy mentioning the freezing rain, if we get that in certain areas, that is not going to be that is not going to be cool. Ice rain coming in from Portage La Prairie. See, there you go. That's that. A little bit of snow. Okay, we can all manage that, but it's
the ice rain.
It's the freezing rain that is not cool. So yes, thank you so much. Keep us up to date on the Boston Pizza text line all morning. We'll get your messages out there.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
We have an angry Jets fan. I don't believe we've ever heard from this dude before, but he's fired up that the Jets aren't getting enough respect.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a Winnipeg Jets fan. Let's make that clear. But come on. We're not even rated in the top 10 to win the Stanley Cup. What are you guys, sleeping at the wheel? Are you munching on your corn chips a little too much?
Corn chips.
Because, buddy, Winnipeg Jets should be in the top 3. Never mind the top 10. You guys gotta wake up, man. You're making an ass out of yourself. Come on.
It's got buddies in it.
The Jets are
Got buddies.
doing something the NHL hasn't seen in years, and you're going to run them down. You know what, buddy? you better take a look in the mirror and see what you're calling.
Oh.
I call the Jets close to a Stanley Cup, top 3. You got it from Shaq.
Wow.
He is giving me the vibe of like, at Friday at dawn, we ride.
Yeah, he's ready to. He's got posse there with him.
Was he standing on a soapbox there giving a speech?
They're off to NHL headquarters, I think, him and his buddies.
With torches.
I think it sounded like a little bit of OV maybe involved in that phone call. I don't think they should be going anywhere. Look, there's been disrespect to the Jets. But after I listened to that call this morning, I had a look. And I guess maybe earlier this season the Jets weren't getting the respect, but like for example, OddsShark has them at 9 so in the top 10 to win the Cup. ESPN Bet has them at 9. PlayNow.com and Bet365 has them at 4 now. So it's no longer that disrespect. People are waking up. The odds makers are waking up to the Jets. So you'll be don't ride to the NHL head office.
Also, corn chips are delish.
Yeah, man, yeah. No one has anything bad to say about corn chips. Okay, call for Kirby here.
Hey, Kirby, yeah, I saw I know you don't like the word moist, but I was wondering how you feel about super moist.
No, she likes that better.
For super moist banana bread,
and
I thought of you. Anyways, have a great week, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again. Bye.
So
no,
how it like super moist? The goal for any baking is to make it as moist as possible.
That's the thing. Okay, let's just stop there. Let's not get excited with the word here. Okay, I feel like you don't need to add super in front of it. Like I would hope that if you're using that word, it's as said. You know, I don't think things need to be extra or super. So
in conclusion, she's okay with super moist. It sounds like if I'm to read between the lines. Oh man, I love banana bread. Okay, Guilty has a question about our brand new studios here.
Okay, it's my German Shepherd here. Overheard Philly. You guys, you're talking about inside your studio. You don't have any windows. What the? Or pardon me, WTF? Like, why? What are they doing? Is that the bunker? Like, are they worried about you guys, like, assassination attempt? Like, why don't you have a window?
Well, they didn't consult us, the engineers, on the construction, so...
this isn't the first station I've worked at that didn't have a window in the studio.
It sucks. It does suck.
It does suck when you're doing the weather and you have to, that's why... I think that's also why Joe goes and does a little walk around a lot.
Oh, guaranteed. Yeah.
It's because he's got to go check on the weather.
He does. Yeah, I bet you that's what he's doing. He's looking out the way. And he's smart.
Like a real,
Smart, because we got to know.
I'll be honest, sometimes I leave here and I'm like, whoa. Like, I was talking about the weather all morning, but I actually get to see it now, so.
Okay, I mentioned the hooligan, and he hasn't called in a while. Well, ask and you shall deliver. Here he is. And he wants to, we're talking about, you mentioned that plane movie, Kirby, right off the top of the show.
Yeah, with Denzel.
With Denzel, and so here he is.
Good morning. I heard you guys Tuesday morning that you mentioned me. Yes, I've been AWOL for a while, but I'm just calling quickly. The movie is called Scully. Denzel Washington movie was called Flight, I believe, but that was not a true story. The movie was with, oh my God, the white guy, did Forrest Gump.
Tom Hanks, yes, and it was Sully, not Scully, I believe, anyway.
Sully, yes.
The hell, I'm blank. That was the true story, Scully. I can't believe I forgot his name.
Sully.
Anyways, I have a lot to report. You spoke about McPhillips. I'm going to tell you something. So I take, Bob and I both, when we leave work, we take Pacific to McPhillips. Bob goes south.
Bob's his buddy.
I go north. Earlier in the summer, they had the intersection cordoned off twice for whatever reason. Now, I can't make a left turn onto McPhillips. I got to go right and do a U-turn. And you know what? Last week, it's all blocked off. You see no workers there at all. Nothing. And then today you see 2 people and about 20 pieces of equipment. Like, what the is going on there?
Welcome back, hooligan.
Poor Bob.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Philly Joe and Kirby's Entertainment Rundown.
I love the brand new Entertainment Rundown. It's nice. Because
It's a rundown
of entertainment. Because we're tapped in. We are tapped in. We have our sources.
Oh, my God.
Paul Bissonnette, of course, Biz Nasty, Spittin' Chicklets podcast. You know, arguably one of the most famous NHL media members now. Like, he really is. Former NHL player as well. Anyway, he was assaulted at an Arizona restaurant on Sunday. Bissonnette was assaulted by 6 men after he stepped in to help restaurant management calm an altercation. The men went at Bissonnette inside and outside the restaurant, apparently. Bissonnette was transported to hospital. He appears to have been released. He put out there on social media that he's fine, stepped in because some men were refused drinks. So, I'm amazed there's no video of this, but from the sounds of it, it was like 6-on-1. Because Biz Nasty was a tough guy when he played, an enforcer. Like, he can handle himself. So, but 6-on-1, you're not going to...
In a restaurant setting, let alone, you know?
Like, unless you're Nico Toscani or John Rambo, 6-on-1 is not going to work for you. Or maybe Jason Bourne or John Wick, just to name a few. But otherwise, 6-on-1's no good. But it's good to hear that Biz Nasty is okay.
I know Joe's a fan of the show The Bear with Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah, he is. He watched the first season, I think.
Yes, yeah. And he is actually playing somebody that was just in Winnipeg for an iconic show, Bruce Springsteen.
Oh.
So Jeremy Allen White is portraying Bruce in a new movie that's going to be called Deliver Me From Nowhere, which is all about Bruce making his album Nebraska from 1990 or 82. And it's based on a book of the same name. Anyways, photos for the first time show him done up like Bruce Springsteen, and it's pretty crazy how he resembles the young boss.
Okay.
And no release date announced for this yet, but I can see this is going to be a big movie.
Excellent stuff. That's your rundown on entertainment.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Trying to figure out how many centimeters of snow we had in the last 24 hours. Since this time yesterday, Kirby.
Well, yeah, because like when we left after the show wrapped up yesterday, like it was coming down pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that was more than we were expecting for snow. Would you concur with that?
I had that thought. I thought, Joe, if he was here, he would have called. Yeah, like literally the ball is being dropped on this station in terms of weather when Joe's off. I am trying my best. But I don't got the knee. I don't got the knee issues.
That's true. You don't have, he's got the weather knee, which gives him a distinct advantage when predicting the weather and giving forecasts. But in your defense, we had a forecast over the weekend where it was like Sunday was supposed to be 5 centimeters, right? And it didn't materialize within city limits at all. Mm-hmm. So coming into yesterday, there was no forecast for a full day of snow. So the fact, what did happen yesterday to me was surprising. That doesn't mean Joe wouldn't have been onto it. Like he would have been. He
would have definitely given us a heads up that we were about to get more than expected.
Yes, I think he would have had a strong feel. By the way, he's back tomorrow, and he'll have no idea about the weather. Oh no, I think he'll be tapped in because he'll be on his phone. He's been in Vegas. He'll have known what's been happening here.
The guy responded to an email, a work email from Vegas. We were laughing at this morning.
He gets back. It doesn't matter. I love that about Joe. Holidays or not, if you message him, he gets right back to you. And
that's why he's my emergency contact.
100%.
Because I'm telling you, no matter what, like you need people like Joe in your life for that. Like people that will pick up the phone when you need them to pick up the phone. Like if I was needing bail, I would call Joe.
100%. If you got to call someone in the middle of the night, he's your phone call. I'm pretty good too because as a dad, I have to be. You've kind of got to be on all the time. There are, I'm not saying I take every phone call that comes in. Mm-hmm. I know when my old man's calling me right after a Habs game, what that's all about. And I know that's a call that can wait a couple of hours, that he just wants to yell about whatever hockey game was just on. Right. So I'm like, well, this isn't a good time, Dad. I'll text him. Hey, I'm in the middle of something. Can I call you later? But you kind of recognize an important call. If you call Joe in the middle of the night, Curbs.
Oh, my God. I can't even imagine. It would be like...
I'll be right there, though.
What's going on, Curbs?
He'll be right there.
Yeah, he would be. Hang on, I'm just putting my pants on.
Oh, okay. Someone's saying, easy, you two. It's just a little dusting outside. You're starting to be one of those people.
Oh, my goodness.
I thought that was more than a dusting yesterday. Someone back us up. That was a little more than a dusting.
You were
yesterday.
saying that we got a dusting on Sunday.
Sunday was a
yes,
dusting.
Sunday was a dusting. Yesterday wasn't a dump.
No, it wasn't a dump.
It was a sprinkling.
I want to say it was for sure a couple centimeters. That's my
what's the term for a couple centimeters? It's not a dust.
No, it's a little more than a dusting.
A little.
Joe, would you come back already so we can get all these weather terms right?
Sheet of snow.
A sheet? No, that was not a sheet.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
All right, I can admit when I'm wrong, according to the listeners anyway, on the Boston Pizza text line. 2 centimeters is a dusting, Philly. I can still see the grass. It's a dusting.
Okay.
We did get we got this one as well. It was a dusting. I got rid of it with the handheld blower. No shoveling needed. For Winnipeg, this is a dusting. A couple centimeters is piss all. We did get, thank you, Big N. We did get a couple of other terms. Someone said it was a powdering. Then we had, it was an annoyance.
You know, a powdering isn't bad because when you think of, we love food on this show, so when you think of when you put icing sugar on French toast, you're kind of powdering it, and that's kind of what we got.
A powdering? Yeah.
That's what I see coming down yesterday.
Light powdering? Like a jam buster?
Like, well, you can't say, we got a heavy powdering last.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can't add light or heavy.
I think a dusting does sound a bit better. Oh, a skiff. I think
a skiff. You've said that before.
I've brought up skiff of
That's like
snow.
such a senior thing to say too.
It is. A flurry or light covering of snow is called a fresh skiff of snow on the ground.
We're not calling it a fluffing, by the way.
No fluffing.
Fluffing is a
that came up.
Is not a great term for snow. Let's just put it that way. Okay, I like skiff. Skiff isn't bad.
Skiff, or should we go dusting? Is there?
I like powdering still.
No, I don't know. I'm not sure about powdering. I don't know. Powdering sounds like a ski hill. Sounds like a ski hill. That's how they talk. They talk about the powder at a ski hill.
That's true. What'd you do this week? And I hit the powder.
The powder was badass, man.
Oh my God. It could either be the ski hill or it could be drugs. Who knows?
Someone says, oh my God, that was the snowstorm of the century yesterday. That's not what we're saying.
That's a bit much. Okay, let's wheel it back in.
I will say, we did get one comment about, regardless of what you call yesterday, the slow drivers, the I've never driven in winter drivers.
They are out.
They were out, and I agree with that.
It's a powdering of those drivers, I'll tell you.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Philly Joe and Kirby. Joe returns to the program tomorrow morning. Are you picking him up at the airport?
Well,
did you offer to pick him up at the airport?
Is it past 7 p.m.? Because if so, he's on his own.
He would have that all set up.
He's the kind of guy that he's like me, where like you just can take a Uber to the airport. He doesn't want to rely on anybody.
And I mean, with a flight, you never really know when you're getting in, unless there's somebody who insists on picking you up. You'd probably just prefer to grab a cab or an Uber when you land. You know what I mean?
Do you remember when we came back from Toronto a couple of years ago when we did that campaign? And we were waiting for our bags. Joe runs into his neighbor who happened. This is the most Joe story ever, okay? Joe runs into his neighbor.
I forgot about
who
this.
happened to be the pilot of our flight, okay? The guy's also waiting for his bags. Or no, he didn't have any bags. He just happened to be standing there waiting for Joe because he offered Joe a ride home.
And Joe took it. They drove
because he's neighbors.
They drove home together.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You're
like,
so right.
It doesn't get any more
Joe than that.
Yes.
That was like, hey, I just flew you home from Toronto.
Is this the pilot?
By the way, I'll drive you now home. Like, unbelievable. Yeah, that was.
So I'm sure Joe, if he doesn't have a way of getting home,
he'll sort something out.
He'll sort something out.
He'll see a relative at the airport who will drive him home. Fantastic.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Philly Joe and Kirby's completely useless question.
Useless with a capital Y.
So useless.
Brought to you by Midtown Ford.
Tickets to go see Texas King at the Handsome Daughter Friday night, 780 City. 780, 2484. Kirby has the question as Joe is away. He returns tomorrow.
Okay. 20% or 25% of drivers do this at least once a week.
25% of motorists, drivers do this at least once a week. Good morning, City.
Morning.
Hey, what's happening, buddy?
Oh, nothing much.
Oh, you got a crowd there with you. Is that coworkers?
No.
All right. You wanna
Just a
guess?
bully.
Okay. Do you want to make a guess here?
Would it be honk the horn?
No, not the use of their horn.
Have a good day.
You too. Thanks.
I broke my horn in the other day.
Oh, you
In the new vehicle, I was like, "Oh, this is the first time I used it."
You laid it down on someone, did you? Was it a beep meep or like a strong?
It was just
honk?
a beep beep.
Yeah, it was like
the light is green and everybody's
Yes.
going, and you are not.
Very
And
common one.
In order for me to proceed, you're going to need to go. So,
Good morning, City.
Morning. Can I get Phil?
Sure can. I'm gonna say they get lost.
no, it's not getting lost. Nothing to do with GPS or anything like that.
Well, sometimes you'll be like, I don't need the GPS for this one, and then you realize you do.
Yeah.
Hello, City.
Hey, is it, how about running a red light?
How about running a red light? I kind of found this to be a little bit interesting. Like, that's like 20%, 25% of drivers running a red light at least once a week.
Well, that could be, it's very, I'm not justifying it, but blasting through a yellow and all of a sudden it turns red at the last second. I mean, you see a lot of that, unfortunately, and that can be very dangerous. So
The worst is when you see the flash of the camera as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. I got one of those the other day. I haven't had one in forever, but
So are you awaiting the ticket?
I'm pretty sure it'll be a couple hundred. It was a 62 and a 50. I'm pretty sure it was me. There's a few people going through the intersection.
Right.
And I go through this intersection like 50 times a week. And I'm always under 50. But this, I don't, just not paying close enough attention, and the flash, you're like,
It's an expensive lesson. Yeah.
Right around the holidays, you idiot. Who is this?
This is Tyler.
Tyler, you are not an idiot. You're the winner this morning. Congratulations, and hang on the line.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Curbs, I know we've, management, specifically Iron Mike, has gone to great
Lengths?
Thank you. I don't know why I drew a blank on lengths.
That's the only greatness I know.
Yeah.
Great lengths.
Thank you. To ensure that we're comfortable in here with the temperature. But given what you're wearing this morning, are you cold?
No. You
'Cause you're-
yeah. I mean, I'm bundled up today.
You're dressed like you should have a hot chocolate in one hand and you're watching fireworks, or you're about to go on a sleigh ride, or you're watching the Santa Claus parade. So you got a hoodie on, a baggy, warm-looking hoodie, not like one of those thin hoodies that you would see more commonly worn inside. That's a thick, rugged, outdoor, putting up Christmas lights kind of hoodie. And then you've got like a shacket vest.
It's a vest. It's just a vest.
But a full length, like
it's a full length
trench coat
yeah.
vest, parka
Well,
vest.
It doesn't go down to the ground. It just goes to my mid thigh.
Okay, it's a thick, warm, parka-looking vest.
Yes.
Over top of the warm-looking hoodie.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie.
Indoors. You're indoors,
I'm
keep in mind.
a little warm.
Yeah, well, you should be. You're dressed for the outdoors.
But sometimes you just get distracted, and I forgot to take off the vest.
You were too busy working and you forgot to take off one of the layers. Okay, because when I went to the bathroom and then came back in, I panicked a little bit. I was like, did I miss an email? Is there a sleigh ride planned, like a work event for outdoors is there a bonfire later today? What are we doing at work that Kirby is dressed up for the outdoors and I am not?
They're doing hay rides around.
Good.
Around the parking lot.
That
You didn't
makes
get that email?
complete sense.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
$300 at Shoppers Drug Mart. Shoppers Drug Mart. A $300 GC on the line right now with the Price is Right contest. Kirby and I are going to fill up our basket. Of course, Joe back tomorrow. So just 2 items. You got to tell us the total combined price of these 2 items without going over, before taxes and no sale prices. And you text your guess to 762-555. And then inevitably a whole bunch of people will get it. We throw you in the randomizer and somebody's going to win. I will go first, Curbs.
Okay.
This is the Sony SRS XB100 speaker.
Sounds like a pretty intense speaker.
Bluetooth speaker. Enjoy big sound with the super compact SRS XB100 wireless speaker, offering powerful, clear sound, a waterproof and dust-proof design, up to 16 hours of battery life. When I look at this, I'm thinking shower. You think, like, because it says waterproof, could I pop this bad boy in the shower?
Yeah, or you could bring it over to Joe's and use it in the hot tub.
Oh, he's got the sound system in the hot tub.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because he was providing music to the rest of the neighborhood there for a while with his Bluetooth.
Well, and somebody was tapping into his Bluetooth by accident and cranking their own TV shows in Joe's Bluetooth. Remember that?
Yeah, it was quite the mystery.
Anyway, I've decided that I need a speaker in the shower, and this Sony SRS XB100 is going to provide what I need.
Nice. I'm happy for you and your 3 showers a day. I'm glad you're going to have music to listen to.
It's a lot of showers. I got to keep up with what's going on in the world.
I understand. You don't want to just be alone with your thoughts during those 3 showers a day. That's a lot of time alone with those thoughts.
You get me, Kirby.
Okay. Well, I don't know about that. Okay. I somehow ended up on the side of TikTok that people are using water flossers, and it's like fascinating what they're getting out of their teeth. It's so crazy, like plaque buildup from like years.
Ooh.
They can. Well, I mean, I would hope that you go for a cleaning, but anyways, this water flosser from Oral-B, it's advanced. Okay. And they will shoot all of the stuff.
So you got to
instead of flossing your teeth, you can just use this, and it will just shoot it all out.
Is there a few of these? Like, you got to give the exact name of it.
Well, it's the Oral-B
water
Power Water Flosser Advanced 1CT. I don't know what that means.
Okay. That
will get you to the page.
Good.
Yes. So those 2 items, you got to add them up. You got to text in what you think the total is to 762-555, and then we're going to throw everybody who gets the correct answer into the randomizer.
Could be winning a $300 GC from Shoppers Drug Mart. Good luck.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Philly, Joe, and Kirby. Joe returns to the program tomorrow morning. Looking forward to that. Curbs, we got a winner for the Shoppers Drug Mart Price is Right contest. $300 at Shoppers.
Yeah. Well, we would be able to use that GC on our cart, even though both items were a little bit pricey. But the total came to $219.98. A lot of people got it right, so we had to throw them all into the randomizer and outspat Justin Ramsey, who scored himself a GC to Shoppers Drug Mart.
Well, if we still have room on the card, I'm calling dibs. I'll get a new pair of Foster Grants. New pair of cheaters. Mine are getting a little beat up here.
You got to go to the carousel in the back by the pharmacy.
I get the same pair every time, but I still try them on in the little mirror and make sure that they are, in fact, what I was looking for.
That mirror is really the key, though, because, that sliver of reflection that you can see yourself in is...
It's key. Yeah, and sometimes I'll ask the pharmacist, very busy, hey, what do you think of these Foster Grants on me? No, I would never do that. Pharmacists are busy.
You should ask the people waiting in line.
That's actually good.
At the pharmacy for their prescriptions.
Excuse me, you don't know me.
Hey, you're just standing here.
What do you think of these? They're my new cheaters I'm thinking of buying.
You know what, though? Maybe it's a woman thing, but I've had random women ask me my opinion on something, like in a store. Like, they'll be like, do you think this is my color?
Just random women.
Yes. And I'm like, I love it, because I'm always like, what better opinion? Like, I'm a stranger. I have no reason to lie to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that's a female thing. I don't see dudes doing that. I like if I'm trying on jeans or something and I don't have my wife with me, like the
sales staff,
I will go to them heavy on how, do these look good?
That's what they're there for.
Absolutely. So, but never a stranger. That's interesting.
I always feel so blessed when it happens.
Blessed. Hashtag blessed, Kirby. I got asked today. You got to Instagram that. I got asked today.
I got asked today
for
about
my advice.
opinion on this color of this woman, and I told her it was her color, and she said thanks, and I feel hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great story. Kirby, thank you very much.
For more Philly, Joe, and Kirby, lock it into 92.1 City weekday mornings 6 to 10.
I'm registered dietitian Abby Sharp, and on my new podcast, Bite Back with Abby Sharp, I'll be dismantling the multi-billion-dollar diet industry that keeps us in a cycle of self-loathing and food fear. Join me every Tuesday for expert interviews, engaging conversations, and my signature science and sass to bust myths, correct misinformation, and help you break free from diet culture for good. Listen for free on the Seeker app or wherever you get your podcasts.